Hey, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. And before I even start with the video, I would like to thank everybody for subscribing, for encouraging me to continue, for your kind words, and also for the people that were not kind to me. I thank you all. So let's jump into the video, and I'll see you back in the comment section in the next video. Bye. In this video, I would like to tell you the backstory of how I became a witness and got baptized 4 years ago as the only one out of my family of five. The years in 2001 when we arrived in a chilly, cold country known as the Netherlands, and the way we entered the country was said to be miraculous, and this is why. Back in 1998, we got a visit from a Jehovah Witness in Kenya, in our refugee country, after fleeing Rwanda because of genocide. My mom was at work and my dad opened the door and invited the witnesses in and had a short conversation. And I remember them leaving a leaflet that had this amazing illustration of what paradise is going to look like. The next thing I could memorize was seeing my dad laying down with a leaflet on his chest, imagining he fell asleep while reading. This image was ingrained in my subconscious mind and actually contributed to me getting baptized. The way we entered Europe was miraculous, as I said, because in the gateways the custom asked my mom where we were heading to. Since we looked like we could not possibly afford tickets to Europe, my mom anticipated that she might be questioned and already had her story cooked up. And at the end of the story, she added that we came to Kenya for the International Convention of Jehovah Witnesses. Then she took a Watchtower and Awake magazine and wanted to hand it over, but the custom agent declined and let her through. My mom was not a witness. However, she did read the Awake and Watchtower magazine. Till this day, my mom believes the custom agent let us through because of the magazines. This led her to study with the witnesses in the Netherlands and became an unbaptized publisher in the French congregation. My memory of the meetings as a 13-year-old was very boring, but I still loved the convention because the sense of unity amongst so many different people and nationalities, and that you actually felt as if you belonged to this group, and you felt that you belonged to this group that had love among them. As a kid, I really loved going to conventions, even though they were very lengthy. I now know that unity is conformity and nothing else. My mom eventually faded and went into other religions. Though she did not say why she left, why she stopped going to the meetings, she did mention finding more help financially in other churches. As refugees in the Netherlands, we didn't have a lot of money and we couldn't work or go to school. So my mom was always looking for ways she could be in a community where she could do stuff. And she did find this in the other churches, like the Reformed Church or the Baptist Church here in the Netherlands, rather than she could not find that in the witnesses. So we visited a lot of churches denominations such as the Baptist Church, the Reformed Church, the Pentecostal Church, and even the Catholic Church. We changed churches every month and it was very tiring to go to different churches all the time. I remember praying to God to let me know which church is the best to go to. During that period, my younger sister was studying with the witnesses, and I have this memory of her studying what does the Bible really teach book with two witnesses, and it really touched me that out of all the family members, it was my little sister of 14 years studying the Bible, and I believe this memory also contributed in my decision to study with the witnesses later on. My sister never became a witness, nor did my brother or mom. So I'm 24 years old and I have a 5-year-old son living with my boyfriend. And I started asking myself, like, life questions, and I wanted to raise my kid with a strong foundation in God. I did not believe I was doing this, so I started praying to God to guide me in choosing the right church. And the next morning, I kid you not, witnesses knocked on my door. I actually respectfully declined their visit and did this twice. The third time, I had a very pleasant conversation and decided to study the Bible. I enjoyed my studies and was excited about paradise and about the doctrines and about what I was learning on doctrines on hellfire, death, and the Trinity, especially about the pagan holidays, because I could Google this information and read about the history of these holidays on different sources. I was confident that with the truth I had found the true religion, and I enjoyed the fellowship with my brothers and sisters in faith. The road to baptism was long because I was still living with my boyfriend, and to get baptized, one needs to leave their adultless life behind and do what God wants, which I totally agree with. I am still a believer. So after 4 years of studying, I finally got baptized in June of 2016, which was emotionally, to say the least. I was so happy that God answered my prayers, that He loved me so much, and that I was part of His organization on earth. I was overjoyed on how my deceased father will be happy to see me and my kids in paradise, and whenever I would think about the reward later on, it all made sense, so the end justified the means. As a baptized sister, I did my best to go into the field ministry, even though I did not love it. I always got anxiety, but I told myself, well, this is the way you show Jehovah God that you truly want to serve and obey His command in Matthew 24. I enjoyed the informal witnessing more than the formal ones, just because that's where I thrived in as a person. I like to have conversation that flow naturally without having to force somebody to follow certain steps. The congregation I was in was amazing. I have nothing negative to say about the congregation. They are generally good people trying to do their best to please God, but according to the leadership, their best will never be good enough. I now clearly see how my subconscious paradigm got me into the religion. The story of how we entered Europe could have happened without showing the customs in the magazine. The story my mom told was one that she knew at the moment, and that could work because she knew that people didn't like talking about the Bible with the witnesses anyway. Me praying for which religion to go to and finally witnesses coming to my door had nothing to do with divine intervention. It was not by accident. You see, witnesses systematically go door to door and are a highly disciplined and organized religion. And me going out is about using my God-given brain to think and analyze properly. It took me 5 years to fully be indoctrinated to the witnesses' belief, and 1 year to fully get out. The 3 things that helped me get out was research, asking critical questions, and I really gave up the need to be right.